I'd like to welcome you to another video from the shop. My name is Brian and this is Prosper Woodworks. If you're new to the channel and like woodworking both with and without a CNC, please consider subscribing and click to turn on notifications so you'll be notified when I post new videos. For those who are already subscribed, thank you. Your support means more than you know. Okay, in this video I'm going to show how I take my designs from SketchUp, and I use SketchUp Make 17, I believe. I'll put a link to that in the description. How I take my designs from SketchUp into where I can use the CNC to cut out the parts. This video will have nothing to do with how to design in SketchUp, nor will it have anything to do with toolpaths and actually cutting it out. This is just the in-between, how I go from SketchUp to being able to CNC the parts without redesigning them somewhere else. And what I use is an extension for SketchUp called FaceSVG. I'll put a link to that in the description. I came across this extension quite a while ago thinking it would do something that it didn't, and I had pretty much forgotten about it until I got my long mill, and I revisited, and it actually does everything that I need it to do. Now this is the download page. You want to get the RBZ file, download that, make sure you keep track of where you downloaded it, and then go into SketchUp's extension manager, and you can see I've already got it installed, but you want to just click that red button at the bottom, install extension, find the extension that you just downloaded, the RBZ file, and install it into SketchUp. Once you've got it installed, I'll go back to the design I've got and basically disassemble it. All the parts are there. It looks great. That's what I need to see. But in order to make the outlines for the toolpaths, I need to have it all disassembled. So I save this as a separate file, just whatever design I've got disassembled. Now that it's all disassembled, I'll double click for the component, click the face that I want written, go down to FaceSVG and Layout SVG Profile. You can see it created another layer. If you go to that layer and turn off the layer 0, and it'll show you what it just wrote. And go back, do the same thing for all the other pieces. Get into the component, select the face, lay out the profile, and it's sort of arbitrary on where it lays it out, depending on your view, I believe, but it's pretty irrelevant as it does a good job of laying it out. When you get to the last one, I go over here and just look at what all it's written. You can see part of it's up top. You just move it down a little bit and you can see all the pieces. And go back, right click, go down to FaceSVG and actually write the profile to a file. Now on this, you do have to specify the file type, and I do that just by adding .svg at the end. Okay, just wrote the file. Now I'm going to go into Carbide Create, find that file that it just wrote, and there are my pieces. And from here you can move the pieces around just as anything else. But the beauty of this is all the angles, once I've got it the way I like in SketchUp, I don't have to try and recreate them. This allows me to have all the pieces at once, so I can flip them and arrange them so that it fits in what I have to use, or you know, pretty much nail down my layout for cutting it. And all that's left to do here, once you get it positioned where you want, go in and actually do your tool paths. Now with this part done, let's go back into SketchUp and I'll show you some of the ways it does what it's doing. Here I am renaming the SVG profile layer just to a parts profile, and where I use actual 3D pieces, and show you that you cannot go to write a profile if there isn't a face. An edge won't do it. I'm going to switch back to the line here and turn this into a triangle. When you right click on the face, you go down, you see you can actually lay out that face itself. Now I renamed the SVG profile layer and it created a new one. And you would think that new one would have just the triangle face, but it doesn't. All of the profiles that have been written have been moved to an SVG profile layer. So that's one thing to watch out for. I like to keep my parts profile separate, but if you make any changes to it and add another profile, they'll all get moved to the new one. Could be good, could be bad. Just something to be aware of. But you can toggle visibility to see what's there. I'm just going to back out of all this. Control Z. And here I'm going to show you on a bed. After I've got it all exploded with dimensions, I can go in and do my profiles here. Go into a component, select the face. You notice it creates another SVG profile and it lays it out. And it's the proper dimensions. Where it lays it out, it's kind of questionable, but it will all be laid out. What this won't do is get any of the other faces. So as far as how useful this would be for something like this, it's questionable, but you can see when we move over to this other component, go into it and select the face, it will only get this one face, but it'll lay it out right next to the other one. And when it gets done, you're out of component mode, so everything comes back. And that's pretty much all for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Until next time.